Hey, listeners, do you want to support small businesses right here in Philly? Honeycomb Credit gives business owners the funding they need to keep growing, and they give everyone the chance to invest in local businesses they love. Small Business Saturday is a great time to get started. On November 25th, Honeycomb will waive investor fees. Check out honeycombcredit.com/citycast to explore small businesses looking for support in your neighborhood. Today on CityCast Philly, this week will be the busiest travel days of the year. That's according to the Transportation Security Administration. And flying, especially during the holiday season, can get stressful. I mean, there's those long lines and everyone gets cranky. So we're here to help you get through it. Back in October, the CityCast Philly team and I broke down some of our hacks for having the smoothest trip possible in and out of the Philadelphia International Airport, as well as some other local hubs. It's Wednesday, November 22nd. I'm Trinina Ree, and here's what Philly's talking about. Hey, Abby. Hey, Laura.
Hey, Trinae.
Hey, Trinae.
So a couple of months ago, the Philadelphia International Airport was named the worst airport in North America. And that was based on customer satisfaction surveys from the data analytics group J.D. Power. So I've got to ask y'all, do y'all like going to this airport?
I don't know. We don't really have a choice. I mean, we do, but it's okay. You know, it gets you where you need to go. It's pretty convenient to get to, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite airport. What about you, Trinae?
I actually love it. I think it's convenient if you need to get out of the city real quick. It's a quick drive really from anywhere in the city if you live in the city.
Yeah, I also really just enjoy PHL. I think it's a great size. It's not too big. It's not too small. Yeah. You can get pretty much anywhere, maybe not direct flight all the time, but you can definitely get where you need to go. So it's great for me. It does its job well.
Okay, let's break down some of the things that we like about the airport. It is located in Southwest Philly, which is a little bit on the border of Delco. But PHL is specifically an American Airlines hub. So they fly a lot through Philly. And you can also get an international flight. Okay, let's talk about the experience of flying out of this airport and flying back. First, how are you guys getting there?
Yeah, I tend to like to take rideshare. I just cut it close when getting to the airport sometimes. And so I think maybe making my life a little easier, taking an Uber, just dropping me off right at the terminal I need to be at, tends to be the way to go. I know you can take public transit and it's not too bad sometimes, but my punctuality sometimes is not there and I'm packing last minute.
I'm with you, Abby.
I feel you. I like to, hey, anybody can take me to the airport, ask family and friends. But also, if you're looking for convenience and there's no one else around, or you got a lot of stuff, or you just kind of want your own ride, I've actually parked at the airport. But, just be smart about it, right? So my advice is to make sure you budget that in your travel plans. My car was safe. And yeah, it was ready when I came back. So it was great.
Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely with you in terms of hitting up a friend or loved one for a ride. If I'm lucky, my sweetie will take me to the airport, but sometimes he's busy. And when I was younger, I used to take SEPTA a lot more because there is the airport line. So there's a train that runs between Center City and the airport about every half an hour. And that's a super affordable option, but because it's a little slow and then you have to get to the train station to begin with and maybe schlep all your bags there, it adds to the travel time. So I definitely don't do that as much as I used to. I'm much more on the friends, family, and rideshare route now.
For sure.
Just remember, though, make sure you give yourself a little wiggle room if you're hitting 76, because if there's traffic or, a sports game, it's going to be backed up. All right. So once we get there, how does the airport rank for you getting through TSA? Do any of you have the pre-check?
No, but I want it. I really want it.
I think it's pretty quick. Like I'm quite surprised by how quickly I've gotten through TSA consistently at PHL in comparison to like, Newark or O'Hare or SFO. Oh my God, LAX.
Yeah. In doing research for this, I was reading some articles about how PHL ranks, and apparently our airport is like pretty good for getting you like out on time. It ranks well for on-time departures and has relatively short security line wait times. That's according to some data compiled by Philly Voice. And so I felt like, yeah, that definitely confirms my experience. It feels like once you're there, it's pretty painless to actually get to your gate.
Okay, so now, we've gotten to the airport, we've gotten through security. What's the first thing you look for? Do you start looking for your gate, food, or the bathroom?
Depends on how late I am.
Right.
Yeah. What about you, Trinae?
One thing I love about the Philly International Airport is the art displays that we have. I really love that. I love seeing that, especially when I get back into the airport. Now, I don't know if this still exists, but the Free Library of Philadelphia had a display and you could print out a poem to read while you're waiting for your flight. And that was just like a nice little touch, a nice little, bit of experience, something different and something that also was like so Philly. And so I enjoyed that.
That's really sweet.
Now, after the poems, I'm definitely looking for food.
Yeah. What's your favorite place to eat?
I would lean to the traditional Chicky and Pete's. Me and the kids would get like some crab fries before, getting on the flight. Or if it's that early morning red-eye flight, I gotta look for some coffee.
Yeah. They have a lot of local options, right, at the airport?
Yeah, that's right. They have Chickies and Pete's, Tony Luke's, which does cheesesteaks, Jim Steaks, Geno's. Like, definitely, you can get your cheesesteak fix there if that's what you're looking
That's a
for.
little cheesesteak competition.
I know, right? A
over
little
there.
face-off.
Welcome to Philly.
Yeah, or if you need one right before you get out, just as like to hold you over. But there's also like the Philly Pretzel Company, Yards Brewing, La Colombe, the local coffee chain is there. So I'm always like, gonna get my Dunkin' or my La Colombe. Which one's more convenient if I'm taking an early morning flight? But yeah, I appreciate that some of the local businesses have little outposts there.
Now, this is kind of a hack, but just kind of like be mindful that if you're a rewards member to any of these like companies or, like a Starbucks or something, your reward cards or gift cards may not work at the airport. One of my favorite things to do on a plane is to look out the window seat of my flight and when I'm returning back into Philly. And I love to make sure I can see the Philly skyline. It makes me feel like, I'm back home. What's been your experience when flying back into PHL?
As far as all of the experiences I've had in airports, it's been pretty smooth. I usually get out pretty quick, which is great. Sometimes you land and you have to like wait for a spot on the tarmac for like a long time. I haven't run into that problem often in Philly. Yeah, and getting out, I personally don't like to check bags. I will do everything in my power to not check a bag. So for me, it's great. I just get off my little plane and run down to the rideshare area and then I get out of there.
Speaking of bags, I sometimes have to check bags because we just have so much stuff. But the bag, if I could say anything about the experience, I hate baggage claim. I don't know. I just wish there were more people to just guide me on where my bags are coming out. I feel like that switches very frequently. And I'm sure there's some things that, some airport workers, they cannot predict that. They cannot control that. So my feelings are not towards y'all, but it's just the experience of it all. It's so chaotic. It's very tight down in our baggage claim area. There's not a lot of space. And so if you have a heavy bag, you got to like swing it. You got to like bend your knees to grab it. And it's just like not the best experience. I've also had an experience where an airline lost my baggage or my bags didn't get to where I needed to, go. And that was when I went from PHL to Atlanta. So I blame ATL for that.
Yeah. Did y'all see the video, speaking of baggage claim, from earlier this year of the raccoon climbing out of the baggage claim in PHL?
I saw
So funny.
Oh my God.
Of course that happened.
Sounds about right.
Philly.
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys have any other hacks that you want to share about, now we're back home. How do we get out of the airport?
Yeah, I have a tip that I've picked up over the years, which is just I like to take a taxi home because, by the time you've deplaned, maybe you've picked up your baggage, you're just tired of being there. And I have found that sometimes the rideshare area gets really backed up, like especially if a bunch of flights come in at once, and you might be waiting for a long time to match with a driver to have them come for you. And so if you follow the signs, there is like a taxi line, taxi waiting area. And I just have had pretty good luck just getting out of there quickly. There's usually somebody with a walkie-talkie if there isn't a taxi waiting who can call one for you. And the price is pretty comparable to a rideshare. Like the taxi, I think they often have like a set rate depending on where you're going, like if you're going to different neighborhoods from the airport. So it's predictable, which is not always the case with rideshare. And it's just fast because often I'm just like, I'm ready to be home. At that point, I'm done. So that's one of my tips.
That's a great tip. Now, if you're getting your family or friend to pick you up, I will tell you that you gotta move fast. So you have to have all your bags ready. If you need a little more space, or if you're picking up a family member who's a little bit slower, your family, or if there's a bunch of people, try to tell them to meet you at the end of your terminal. That way it's less cars, and then you have more space to kind of maneuver, throw the bags in the car and go.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Another tip that I've done, not actually at PHL, but I think would work at PHL, is when I fly to see my family in Charlotte, North Carolina, the airport there, CLT, the place where everyone is getting picked up is super crowded. So that's the arrivals area. My family will just be like, go to departures, like go where we would drop you off, and you just like go to the other part of the terminal, and they pick me up there, and it's a lot faster sometimes if there's traffic. So
Sneaky.
You're not supposed to do that, but it's a tip.
Yeah, I was saying, I never.
I don't know.
Okay, one of the great things, that we have in Philly is that we're actually really close to other airport options.
Yeah, you're totally right, Trinae. One of the best things about being in Philly is how convenient we are. Like we're close to New York and DC, and we're close to some airports that are affiliated with other cities. So, for example, Newark Liberty International Airport in northern New Jersey is another great option. I've flown in and out of there a bunch. You can take an Amtrak there. You can take NJ Transit there. It goes right to the airport. And so or you can drive.
And you can drop your car off at, they have these small parking lots. Again, just make sure you budget for that in your travel plans.
Right. They have the park and ride lots. And I because it's a significantly bigger airport than PHL, sometimes they'll have more flights. Sometimes they'll have better deals. I was reading before this episode, they have the most flights to Europe of any American airport. So if you're trying to go to Europe, maybe look over there. You could get a better deal, or maybe just a direct flight. So I kind of treat Newark like, okay, if I'm going to have to fly from Philly, but there's going to be 2 connections, but I could fly direct from Newark, I'm going to go to Newark.
Yeah.
Just cut it down.
Yes, I agree. And Newark has some really great food options.
It's nice in there.
It's beautiful, actually. And I think they've recently redone it. So it's very modern, and I like that.
Yeah. So that's definitely another option for our region. And then there's also, if you're, a fan of budget airlines, there's a really small airport in Trenton, New Jersey. It only has flights from Frontier, but they have some really good deals. They fly to like Orlando. They fly, I think, only domestically, so to other destinations within the US, but it's not too far away. Trenton's, just over the river in New Jersey. So that's another option.
So we've talked a lot about our own experiences at the local airports, but in the customer service survey we mentioned earlier, PHL specifically came in last place. Why were people so pissed off about flying here? Like, what did they say?
They were pissed that it's kind of like the facilities haven't been upgraded necessarily, right? It's like kind of grungy in there.
Yeah. I saw that in the parking lot, the lights were like dimmer. They could have been brighter.
Yeah.
So I feel like our airport could use some upgrades.
Just looks a little worn in some
Yeah.
places,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
but they're trying.
Yeah, I agree with all that, but I think overall it's a pretty solid airport. It does its job well.
Mhm.
She gets you there, and that's what matters at the end of the day to me. So, yeah, could use a little love, but couldn't we all?
Just slap a coat of paint on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Spruce it up a little bit.
Change the light bulb. All right. Laura and Abby, thank you so much for talking about the airport with me.
Happy to do it. Safe travels next time everybody flies.
Yeah, thanks. Anytime.
That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. Our executive producer is Laura Benchoff. Our producer is Abby Fritz. Our Hey Philly newsletter editor is Joel Wolfram. And our host is me, Trinae Nuri. Music is by Philly's own Interminable, with additional music from All the Kimonos. If you enjoyed this episode with all these airport hacks, tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter, Hey Philly. Just a quick note, the CityCast Philly team is observing Thanksgiving, so we'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Have a great weekend and be safe, y'all. Bye.
Hey,
Hey,
Trinae.
Oh, we were in sync there.
All right.